Thank you. That was great. You guys applauded like my parents used to every time I walked out of the house. It's like, yes, he's gone. He's finally gone. I had a unique childhood growing up. I remember when I was younger, about the ages of 8 or 9, my mother was very protective of me. Now, I thought it was because she loved me. Turns out we just didn't have medical. Man, I know for me, I knew I was poor growing up. I was so poor, I actually loved losing teeth because that meant I could get money from the tooth fairy, right? Like, did you ever do that? You ever do the tooth fairy? You lose a tooth, put it under the pillow, and the next morning money would be there, right? I decided when I get older and I live in a nursing home, I'm going to put money under my pillow and hope teeth pop out. Like, look, I got one. Nope, just a cracker, Jack. My bad. But you know, I'm actually afraid of living in a nursing home when I get older because I'm afraid of who I'm going to be living with. Have you guys seen My Generation lately? Pray for me. We're all going to look 95 but identify as 25. And we're still going to be borrowing somebody older's money somehow? And then we're going to have gangs in nursing homes. Of course we will. But the gangs will be called the cryptitis and the blood clots. I grew up poor, and then for my career choice, I chose comedy. So basically, I am not good at finances. I had to do a bunch of odd-end jobs when I first started out comedy 12 years ago. Tons of them. Like, I used to be an Uber driver because I was a middle child and now feel the need to have my personality rated every 10 to 12 minutes. I did not like being an Uber driver. Anybody ever be an Uber driver? If not, okay, if you don't know what it is to be an Uber driver, or if you don't know what it is to be in an Uber, I'll explain it to you this way. Basically, to get into an Uber, you get in somebody else's car, and then you judge them. That's pretty much it. I hated it when I was an Uber driver, but I gotta tell you, now that I'm not a driver, I love judging other Uber drivers. Like, I like to treat each and every Uber driver like a stepdad. I like to be like, hey, you got any snacks? No? My other driver had snacks. I think it's crazy we live in this society where we can judge people for any reason at all whatsoever, right? Like, I just want to start going to people's houses and rating it on TripAdvisor. I want to be like, don't go to my Aunt Karen's house. She has a litter box, but I've never seen a cat. 2 stars, the mysterious Aunt Karen. I think people are rude in public nowadays, too. It's like, I wish we could start to rate those people online. Like, for instance, have you ever opened the door for a stranger and halfway to the door, you realize that they don't deserve it anymore? So you just slowly close the door back up when they're only inches away? I don't like when people cuss in public, like when people tell other people to go to HE double hockey stick, right? So I just tell people to go to Walmart. It's practically the same thing. The only difference is that hell is known as a fiery place, and if you ever walk into Walmart, you'll notice that nobody there is hot. Does anybody here work at Walmart? I probably should have asked that question first. Good. I think if we started to put a rating to people's conversations, it would help people to stop saying stupid stuff, right? Like, have you ever, and we do it too, we absolutely do it. Have you ever been in a conversation with somebody and you forget their name? I've done that, and if you've ever done that, this is how I will help you for the rest of your life. If you're ever sitting there and you're like, I do not remember this person's name, do this, it works. You just say, excuse me, how do you spell your name again? Yeah, it works almost every time. Until they're like, you don't know how to spell Bob? Like, I'm sorry, I thought there were 3 B's. I didn't know. But I think if we started to rate conversations, it would help. Like, have you ever gone to the store with somebody and you split up? You want to meet back up, so you text, hey, where are you? And they reply, I'm over here. What kind of an answer is that on the phone? I'm over here? That's not even an answer. I once went to a grocery store. We split up. We were going to meet back up. I texted, hey, man, where are you? He sent me his location via Google Map. kid's gonna say, melon aisle? That's what he's supposed to say. He's supposed to say melon aisle. It's ridiculous. I think all of society just gets us in a tizzy where we're all frustrated and afraid of things. And, I think fear comes from when you're a kid. Like, have you ever been home alone and somebody knocks on your door? Like, for me, that was the most terrifying thing in the world because nobody in my family is Liam Neeson. That's... So if I got taken, that was it. And like, I know that I've heard people say that, God did not give you the spirit of fear, right? But Jehovah's Witnesses have a couple times. Oh, the knocking. I'm telling you. That's not the deepest fear as a kid, though. The deepest fear, and I don't know if I'm sure people have related to this. Deepest fear ever as a kid is watching a TV show or a movie and your parent walking in. Because it doesn't matter what TV show or movie you're watching. The moment your mom walks in, it's always at the most inappropriate scene in that TV show or movie. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter what you're watching. You could be watching The Magic School Bus. The moment your mom walks in, Miss Frizzle starts dealing drugs. You're like, Mom, I swear this has never happened. She's like, I don't like scary movies. I can't handle scary movies the same way people can't handle spicy food. You know those friends. Even a little spicy is too spicy. They're like, oh, this is hot. What is this? Toothpaste. You can't handle toothpaste? That's how I am with scary movies, and so I don't go see them, but my friends love them. So a while back, I watched this movie, and I could not tell you what it's about because my eyes were closed the whole time. All I know is that it involves some creepy kids. I watched it Saturday night. I wake up Sunday morning to go to church to repent. And I'm in the bathroom, alone, or so I thought. All of a sudden, this little kid I've never seen before in my life steps out of a stall and goes, hi. I said, hi. And he goes, want to see something scary? I said, not particularly. And he goes to the light switch and he turns out the light. He turns it back on and he goes, roar. And he said, okay, good job. And he goes, want to see it again? I said, I didn't want to see it the first time. And he goes to the light switch again and turns it off, turns it back on and goes, roar. And I said, okay, you're done. And he goes, no. One more time, and it's going to be the scariest thing you've ever seen. At that point, he turns the light off completely. It's complete darkness. It's silence for a long time. And I am convinced that the creepy kids in the movie I saw the night before have come back to haunt me because I didn't watch their movie. So I'm in the corner, and I'm 30 years old. I'm very secure. I'll just tell you, I'm crying. And I walked in to use the bathroom, but I was about to do it again, okay? And I'm just crying. It's dark. I don't hear anything. I'm assuming he's climbing on the walls somewhere. And it's the saddest I've ever been. All of a sudden, the light turns back on. He's in a different place, and he goes, roar. Apparently, this was the scariest thing I'd ever seen. So I just go, what's the matter with you? And I walked out of the bathroom. But then I've seen enough movies that I'm like, I gotta make sure that this guy isn't a figment of my imagination. So I stood by the bathroom to follow him, which legally do not do. So I followed him, and I figured out who his dad is, and his dad's really weird, so it makes a whole lot of sense. I'm just saying, pastor kids are strange. Good old pastor kids. I had fear, like, my whole life. Like, I've always just been followed with fear. And then when I was 18 is when I started comedy. I started stand-up comedy about 12 years ago. And I had no fear of it not working out because I just loved it so much. And that's when I realized that love overcomes fear all day, every day. And then I got married, and I realized that sometimes love and fear kind of go together. And listen, Listen, I love my wife. She's my best friend. It's not that. I'm afraid of something that you husbands have never told me. Round of applause if you're married. Go ahead. Great. All of you married people, husbands, I am mad at you. Because you did not tell me something that I wish somebody would have told me. Round of applause if you're not married. Who's not married? All right, good. 3 couples. Okay. This is awkward for you. I'm going to tell you something I wish they would have told me, which is this. I'm going to lock eyes with you, sir. Here it is. When you get married, you are responsible to keep everybody in your family alive. Everyone. Your wife, keep her alive. Your kids, keep them alive. Animals, alive. Don't even think about a goldfish. Do you know how hard it is to give CPR to a goldfish named Nemo? It's difficult, which is exactly why my dad was always so stressed out, because he had my mom and 4 kids, and he would constantly shout things like, don't stick your head out the car window, don't jump off the stairs, don't put your finger in the light socket. And that was all